And we've got Lauren Zanatino, who is going to look after us here this afternoon at Collie Reserve. Thank you, Lauren.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Oh, Lauren, that was just beautiful. As Mark Holden used to say on Australian Idol, touchdown! Magnificent. Fantastic from Lauren there. We've got our two big sprints to go, the women's Bay Sheffield, the men's Bay Sheffield. Will be parading the women shortly.
Big
22 was the time, by the way, for...
Big moment, Sam Pake's time given out by Terry there. So what a character he is, the shot putter. So the women here, 4 of them have been in a lot of finals. So Whittingham's been in 3 now, Hastings in 3 now, Lem in a 4th, and Shannon in a 3rd, and for Phillips and Byrne, their first Bay Sheffield at 120, Bernie. So there's a lot of experience here. Lem, the only one that's... Well, no, Shannon was on the podium last year 3rd, and Lem 4 years ago was 2nd. So they're the 2 that have been on the podium, but one of them is going to win the Bay Sheffield for the first time.
That's right. And you've also got Olivia Hastings in the white that she ran in the stall gift final last year.
And she was 2nd in 21 here, so yeah.
Yeah, and she also has run reasonably well in the under-18s years ago, 2018. She ran in the under-18s and has run well in the 120 and also the 550s.
So, Bernie, there's a lot of Bay Sheffield history here, isn't there, amongst these women?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Leanne Shannon, who ran 13.85, she'll be out the front to chase, but we've also got Julia Phillips. She's the fastest at 13.60. She's in the yellow. So we're just seeing that's the mayor of the city of Holdfast Bay there.
Yes, Annabelle Wilson, yeah, next to Kim Steer and Katrine Hilliard, the Minister for Sport. So the dignitaries there with the lineup. Katrine's had an incredible day because her nephew won the under-18 120.
Yeah, had a great day. So they're just being introduced. This is a tradition in the pro running circuit that in the big finals all the runners are introduced to a minister of the government or the mayor of the local town that's got the event on. And we've also got the president there, Kim Steer.
Well, Glenelg do so much. They do so much. The Holdfast Bay Council for the event. Katrine going through there. So the youngest is Ellie Whittingham. She's 19 years of age.
She's the back marker.
Yeah, she is at 19. A couple of 20-year-olds. The veteran Julia Phillips at 30 years of age. Phillips has been, I think, probably in a very impressive group, the most impressive of them all so far.
She has, being the eldest in the group too, a lot of experience.
Look at Leanna Shannon with Katrine here. So she's much shorter than a couple of the other women around. It does. I mean, Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price hasn't stopped her winning 4 Olympic medals
over the ground
at 100 metres. And there's Ella Byrne. So for Ella, could she win the 120 after winning the 70 yesterday? So only 5 women have been able to do that.
And the way that she did win last night would indicate that it's definitely a chance. She probably hasn't run as well today as she did last night, but if she can produce that form, she'll be right out there.
And Bernie, I reckon she ran better in the final last night than she did in the rounds.
100% correct.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if she does produce her absolute best. So Molly Farmer's the last to do that, 70 and 120. Not all those 5 have done it in the 1 year either, so it's not easy to do. Molly in 2017 did it. And I'm just looking here, so 2006 and 1997, the other occasions it's been done in the 1 year. Kate Miladovich did it, Mandalavich did it in different years, and so did Lucia Wrench Doody. So here we go. So the introduction. So
that's Ella Byrne making her way down.
Leanne Shannon. What's the key for these front markers?
To get away to a good start, and they've just got to concentrate on getting to that finishing line and not losing their form.
Julia Phillips talked about the fact that her coach and partner was going to get her to eat a lot in between the semi and the final. She said, I don't like eating a lot on these days. She's had a bit longer to think about it. Kayla Lem would be a really popular winner, wouldn't she?
She would, yes. She's been running here for a couple of years now and very popular South Australian runner.
So she's in her fourth 120-metre final. She's been placed before. You talked about Olivia Hastings, a rising star here in South Australia.
Definitely a rising star. She'll be one of the favourites here with the South Australian crowd. And Ellie Willingham, also another great South Australian athlete.
So Ellie was fourth way back in 2018 when she was absolutely a youngster in the nth degree, and then fifth last year in the final. So from last year we've got third Leanne Shannon and fifth Ellie Whittingham going in the final here. So as we said, we've had a lot of these women in this position before, but one of them today has the chance to win for the first time. Or will it be Julia or Ella who go in their first 120-metre final? How important, Bernie, you've been there, you've done it, you've won a 70 here, you've been won a restricted here over the 120. How important are the first 20 metres here?
Very important. You've got to get yourself set up, get off the blocks quick and just head to that finish line. You've got to keep your form towards the end, but the fast start, that's where it's won or lost on these days.
Nerve-wracking or not?
Very much so.
Is it?
Very much so. Being a South Australian, this is just a huge event. And to have your name as a winner of this great race and you live in South Australia is just a fantastic thing.
It's hard to win from behind 5 metres. Only 5 occasions in 36 has the winner of this race come from behind 5. So Whittingham and Hastings are trying to do that today.
Lem's just in front. She's on the 5 1/4. Of course, Phillips off 7, Shannon off 9.75, and Ella Byrne will be the front marker off 12.
That's 7 to 9, that's 7 to 10, sort of the sweet spot, isn't it?
It is for a lot of the big pro running races.
So they've been quite brilliant, these women, through the heats and semis they have. So 3 races in the one day. Unlike Stall, as great as Stall is, those heats are on the Saturday and then the semi and the final on the... So this is 3 on the one day. And many of these, including Ella Byrne, went round in the 70s yesterday where she won it.
So Ella Byrne, she raced last night just before 9 o'clock, and she did say at the presentation she was quite in the black there. She was quite nervous yesterday and then so hyped up after having a win, she may not have got to sleep till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Living on adrenaline on a day like today, eh? So the starter, the last instructions, and for many of them, the most important race of their life so far. They're about to get on the blocks, because that's what they say to them, and run for the Bay Sheffield title, and $10,000 in prize money.
$10,000 in prize money, but a piece of South Australian sporting history to go along with it.
And that's priceless.
Ella Byrne, the one they have to catch, leaves Leanne Shannon, Julia Phillips, Kayla Lem, Olivia Hastings, Ellie Whittingham. So it's Byrne in front, Shannon goes to her, joining in now was Phillips. Julia Phillips takes the lead, the Victorian wins. Julia Phillips, the lone Victorian, but she takes it from either Ella Byrne or Kayla Lem. Leanne Shannon, Ellie Whittingham, Olivia Hastings. Julia Phillips in the yellow takes the women's Bay Sheffield final. I had a chat with Julia earlier. She told me she came here in 2015 with one of her good friends, Kobe Evans. She'd never run at a pro meet. She turned up, ran here at the Bay, watched her good friend Kobe Evans win the women's Bay Sheffield, And here we are, 8 years later. Julia, can you believe it? You're the champion.
Julia, what an unbelievable win. How's that feel to be the 2023 Bay Sheffield Women's winner?
I actually can't put it into words. I've worked a really long time. I remember this was my very first ever pro meet, and I saw Kobe win, and I thought, I really want to do that. I've worked for a long time to try and get here, so it's quite surreal, really, to stand here now.
And as Terry mentioned before, 2015, your first time here. Is it surreal now that 8 years later you've actually won this amazing event?
It took a while, didn't it? I can't quite put it into words yet. I think it's something I'll look back on in years to come, and I hope I feel really proud of.
Well, let's hear it for our winner for the 2023 Bay Sheffield Women's, Julia Phillips. Amazing stuff.
Well, you can feel the emotion, can't you? She had some chasing to do, Bernie, because the front markers were not going to come back unless they had somebody really good chasing them down. She always looked the winner from about halfway, didn't she?
From about halfway, and we're just getting to the sunshine part of the track there. She's just about to go through. And there it just looked like she was taking control of the race. The back markers weren't really getting into her lead at that stage, and she was going away from the front markers. So Julia Phillips wins the Bay Sheffield for the women.
So Byrne second, Lem third. So Lem gets a second podium finish, and Byrne so close, wasn't she, to do the big double, the 70 double and the 120. And then Whittingham fourth, and Shannon and Hastings 13.613, 13.724, 13.756 the first three. Great run by Ella. She's had a super carnival, and Kayla will think maybe one that got away, but Julia was in such great form here. I think Kayla was always going to struggle to give her 1.75 metres.
Yeah, just couldn't make that ground up early, and when she didn't get into that early off the blocks, it was going to be hard going, and Julia being so strong at the finish.
So Whittingham and Hastings, we talked earlier about how hard it is to win from 5 metres and behind Bernie. It is, and again, that's been proven again today. Two women in sparkling form, and yet they couldn't reel them in.
Couldn't get there, and as you said earlier, that 6-7 metres, the sweet spot, and Julia Phillips comes off the 7 metres.
So she's, how old is she? She's 30 years of age, I think, isn't she? So 30
she's the oldest
years
in
of
the field.
And, you know, you talked about the WA beach sprinter, etc. So let's go down. Shall we go down to Terry for the big presentation?
Well, Julia, I'm glad I had a quick chat with you after the semi-final, and you told me about your first pro race experience. You came here and run at the Bay back in 2015.
Yeah, it was funny actually. I'm originally a WA girl, and my coach, was a big pro running coach, and said, you know, you've got to travel, you find these great races, it's amazing competition, it's the best competition you get in Australia. I said, great, okay, absolutely. Glenelg, beautiful. And he said, it's handicapped. Right. And I remember him sitting me down in his living room and was like, so everyone's on a different mark based on their ability. I was like, I just didn't quite get it. and I rocked up here and I was like, oh, this is something I've never seen before, and I just loved it. It was the atmosphere, the people, it was fun. I've hooked ever since.
So that was in 2015, so this is obviously a significant win in your career. Have there been some other big milestone achievements along the way?
I was fortunate to win Queanbeyan quite early in my career, following that the Keilor gift. But after that, work just took over, life took over, things got hard. Training full-time, working full-time is tough, and so I had a real dip in performance, and since I've met my new boyfriend who's become my coach, have found some speed again and back in the mix, which is really exciting. So it's taken a while to be back here.
That new boyfriend, that new coach, is that fella at the back in the black who was seemingly choking back tears?
Oh, he's a sweet boy. Tracking back years. Love that. That is him, yeah. He's done very, very well. He's a CrossFitter. He just tried something different. Tried different training program, things that work with work, and he's, worked wonders. It's done really well.
What does Julia Phillips do for work?
I'm an English teacher, so year 11 and 12 in Victoria, yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations. How are we going to celebrate tonight?
I think a few champagnes might be on the menu.
I did notice too, you jumped into the area across there. You've obviously got a bit of support here as well.
Yeah, fortunately a few Victorians, and I really love the Victorian community. Being a WA girl especially, they've just adopted me, and the amount of people that just came out there to give me a hug, it's so appreciated, it's so seen, and it's wonderful, wonderful of them, and they're wonderful people, so I'm really, really lucky to have them around me. It's a real army.
Congratulations on your win, Julia. Well done. Ella, what an incredible 2 days for you. The 70-metre champion last night, and here you are up on the podium again, second in the women's Bay Sheffield. Well, I sensed last night you felt you had some business today, that you could maybe go deep, and you certainly have.
Yeah, I certainly never expected to have the Bay that I've had, and I am so grateful. And yeah.
What did you do after last night? I mean, that race last night was at about 9 o'clock at night. I mean, how was it trying to go to sleep?
It didn't happen for a while, but we got there eventually, had a sleep in this morning, and then straight to the track, really.
Okay, who's helped you today to refocus and replenish and get going again?
Similar to yesterday, my coach Nick, my parents, my brothers, my sister, my niece. There's a few more family out today, but there's so many. There's so many.
To win the 70, obviously a big buzz. What about to be a part of the Bay Sheffield final?
Oh, I had goosebumps during the national anthem. I just thought it was, like Anton said, it's such a special race. There's so much history, and it's just amazing to even be in this position.
Well done on your 2 days. And Kayla, here we are, a fourth final, a second time on the podium.
Yeah, it's bittersweet, but maybe I'll give it another crack next year, who knows. Still happy to make the final with Liv, my training partner. That was so special. The Bay wasn't a goal of ours this year. We just wanted to run quick this season, and we're both here in the final, so it's amazing.
How were you feeling in the build-up, knowing, because you were so good in the semi-final, I mean, how were you for the 2 hours, as Bevan asked you about that build-up, waiting for the race? Then we had the delay with the weather.
I actually was fine. Super relaxed. I had Liv with me, so we just chilled out and talked some shit and warmed up like we always do, and yeah.
What'd you do, talk some shit?
No, sorry, talk some smack, yeah, whatever.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just a big thanks to Dan, Super Coach Dan. He puts in a lot of time and effort. We wouldn't be here without him. Liv and I have improved so much since we've started training with him. Just all my family and friends that are out here. Hayley and Liv, my two training partners, Layla, and everyone, Mum and Dad, Ryan. Thank you so much, and all the official sponsors. I could go on, but I'm very grateful for you all.
Good on you, Kayla. Well done to Julia Phillips, the Bay Sheffield champion for 2023. Ella Byrne second, Kayla Lem third. Ellie Whittingham, fantastic in fourth off the red. Leanna Channon, a second final in a row, runs fifth. And Olivia Hastings made up the top six. As we're about to meet the top six for the men's Bay Sheffield final.
So great women's final. Not unexpected. She would have started the favourite, I think, Phillips, in a very close call. So the men now, Bernie, there's 137th running.
Famous race. 137th consecutive running of this race that celebrates South Australia's birthday. It was first run to celebrate the 50th birthday of South Australia, and it's continued ever since.
So again, Amanda on the left and Katrine. So there's the Minister for Sport, Katrine, whose brother won the 70 in 1991 and whose nephew won the under-18s today, and she's been here and raced here as well. Amanda's father I know well, Lyle. He's an incredible character, and she does a great job here. And Kim Steer, a good runner in his day. Kim, more the 400-metre runner, wasn't he?
More 800-metre runner.
And president of the South Australian Athletic League. We've been blessed, haven't we? Kim's done such a brilliant job. Cole Rouston before him, Brendan Golden before him.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we've had a lot of vision. Been some challenges over the years.
Yep.
With Collie Reserve and having to go to the Adelaide Oval, and then, of course, everybody's problem with COVID, but it continues to thrive. We've got a very good final where the outmarkers seemingly a favourite, but Kim Steer made a good point, Bernie, is that there's no one on a back mark really here.
No back marker. The back marker here is off 6.25, so no scratch runners or those off 2.5, and as I said earlier, hard for the runners behind.
Here's Xavier Paul. He's 19. He's the only teenager in the final. His mother's the chief executive of the South Australian Athletic. Joseph McKinnon, who won the Pre-Bay, arguably the favourite here. So now, the Cooper Williams not there. So is he out, Cooper Williams? So gone. So did he get injured in between time in the warm-up? So Cooper Williams got
disappointed would he be?
So we just saw Alex Chan, and him now Thomas McClure, who's been duelling with McKinnon in that fantastic heat, wasn't it? So no Cooper Williams. So we saw somebody go down in the warm-up, not knowing that they were a finalist here with all the other things that were going on. So that is absolutely terrible luck for Cooper. And it changes the dynamics a bit, doesn't it? Because McKinnon and Paul now are, in a way, on their own out there.
They're on their own, and then you're going to have Jess Cordoma off 8.25. So they would have been three of them altogether. Now there's only the two. Joseph McKinnon off 10 and Xavier Paul off 10.75. I think we did agree earlier that probably McKinnon's the one.
I think so.
He was very strong over the last probably 50 metres in his semi-final. He demanded to win that semi-final going to the line. Jess Cordoma, if he's a chance to get onto him, he's going to have to get onto him very, very early.
Have a look at those boys. They're the cheer squad. I bet you they wish it was the normal 30 degrees, don't you? So Jess Cordoma, the only finalist. He was fifth a couple of years ago, so he's the only one that's been in a final here of this race.
That's right. All the other runners, it's their first Bay Sheffield final. And Cooper Williams, unfortunately, breaking down.
Yeah.
In the warm-up, he'd be shattered.
It was last year Jess finished in fifth spot behind Michael Moshku. So there's Thomas McClure. He's had a good season. He hasn't raced much coming in after winning earlier. Alex Chan just in his second year. Milan Murphy is his partner, the sister of Aidan Murphy. And then Jess Cordoma, final last year. Here's the favourite, Joseph McKinnon, just 20 years of age. And here's the youngster at 19 years of age. He is carrying a slight injury. He's been quite brilliant, Paul. And if he were to win, it would be incredibly popular. His mother, Jenny, does so much for the league.
So there we go. That looks like Joseph.
Yep. So McKinnon's sort of... He's got a presence in a race, hasn't he? Talking about the young man, two from the left. But Paul's been getting out quickly. Can Paul put the pressure on McKinnon by holding that advantage early?
He's going to have to hold it early and hold it for a long way. McKinnon is very, very strong towards the end.
Well, great moment. So crowd has built right up. Still conditions. Thunder and lightning going. You can just see a little bit of a breeze there, but that's nothing that we normally get for a Bay Sheffield. So think about all that history, that 136 runnings in the past, the 7 men that have done it a couple of times, those household names, all those league footballers that kept winning this race until Darren Kapler, and then there's been none since. But it was a place that footballers came to stay fit, and now it's for